What are some signs that you are being manipulated? Everything is always your fault. When you catch them in a lie and you know they've lied, but they still don't admit they've lied. I wouldn't have had to do that if you weren't so something that makes you the bad guy here. It sounds like my parents. Same. Even when there's obvious fault. It's always, well, what else was I supposed to do? Or I shouldn't have had to do that. Manipulators often induce uncomfortable, negative feelings such as fear, guilt, or shame to get you to do what they want. Pay attention to the feelings you get around other people. If you really loved me, you would do insert thing here. There's times when that is appropriate to say. Example, if you really loved me, you wouldn't cheat on me. My ex would say this all the time, but screaming, and I wasn't cheating on him. Never did. Just had male friends, lol. Reading this thread and replies and thinking, oh, Speep is probably not a good sign. Bruh. Yay. I'm freaking out right now, Lamau. I thought I was helping someone remove themselves from a manipulative situation. But reading this, it seems like I've been manipulated this whole time as well. Usually you don't really realize it. When other people start telling you there's a problem, that's when you finally realize. That's what it took for me. When you look back later, you can finally see what everyone else saw. For me, it was a friend mirroring the words I said to him 20 years prior when his ex was gaslighting him. How long are you going to let her do this to you? Man? I had to struggle against the way she'd trained me not to question her to gain the strength to leave her. But as her influence waned, I realized more and more how bad it was. Thinking to yourself, no, he or she wouldn't be doing this on purpose to me one too many times. Wow, this one hits me hard. Story time? Not gonna go into it much, but it reminds me of my current girlfriend. You are being forced to make decisions that you are uncomfortable with. You feel like someone is always pushing you to make rushed decisions. You never get the last word. Someone behaving differently in public versus in private. Someone behaving differently in public versus in private. I think this one is too vague. It's fine if your partner isn't super into PDA but then is more physically affectionate in private. I'd say the problem would be if their public reputation would be hurt if people knew how they act in private. You're being manipulated when the essential message is: be reasonable and do things my way. I realized a lot of my friendships were like this because my parents were like this. It's a painful thing to realize. But recognizing that continuation of associating with toxic people is huge and important and puts you in a lot of control of your future. Once I learned the behaviors of that personality, I could work on changing my behaviors and learn to not seek that toxicity out. You can do it. Thank you for this. This makes me feel not alone in this journey. Both my parents and a lot of people I have been around are like this. I currently have 0 friends, but I am happier and I now know what I appreciate in people and am unashamed to seek them out and ask for friendship. When you do what people want you to do, but they won't do what you want them to do. Yes. And if they then call you selfish for not doing what they want, that's a big red flag. Then call you selfish for not doing what they want. I love this. Can you do X for me? No. You're so selfish. You not being selfish asking me for something? Anybody who forcefully attempts to assert their trustworthiness isn't. They use the threat of leaving a relationship to get their way. Undefined. This one hurts the most. You lied to me about something important and now I want to talk about it. I deserve an explanation/apology. Fine, I'm always in trouble anyway, guess I'll just pack my speep and leave. Over. And over. And over. Ah, shy 5 it, I didn't realize he was doing that cause it's all backwards. Instead of saying if you don't do X I'll leave, it's like if that's the case, how could you possibly stand to be with me? Like he's about to leave because I brought up something that's bothering me and then I end up comforting him and thank you for giving me a new perspective on this one. If it happens again, I'll have a better way of explaining to him why this bothers me. 1. The feeling of walking on eggshells. 2. The sick feeling in your stomach when you think they're mad at you about something. 3. You no longer have friends. 4. You have issues with family. 5. Nothing about your life is of your choosing. 6. You filter everything you say to avoid fights. 7. Suppressing your opinions. 8. Feeling like you're living someone else's life. 9. Constantly complimenting the person. 10. Constantly reassuring the person. 11. Always putting their feelings before yours. I could keep going, but I'm sure you get the picture. Subset of 1. You dread going home after work every day because you don't know what mood they'll be in when you get home. You're questioning yourself. The term gaslighting is often used to identify manipulation that gets people to question themselves, their reality, memory, or thoughts. A manipulative person might twist what you say and make it about them, hijack the conversation, or make you feel like you've done something wrong when you're not quite sure you have. This is such an important one to recognize. Examples are telling you that you said something that you didn't, or telling you remembered something wrong. But also hard to recognize considering people do actually misremember things sometimes. True. Which is why manipulators take advantage of it. I think the pattern you'll find separates misremembering versus gaslighting is who is misremembering. Is it always you and never the other person? You're being gaslit. If it's sometimes you and sometimes them, then it's probably normal. If someone is discouraging you from talking to or hanging out with your friends and family. I mean, my girlfriend sat me down and pointed out a ton of abusive signs from my parents, which my parents took to mean she doesn't want you to be around us. She's manipulative and anti-family. No. She pointed out that I was simultaneously being treated as an adult and a child where they found it most convenient. And that they literally screamed at me, not shouting words. Just got in my face and let out a long loud ah when I made a simple mistake when she was at our house helping prepare for Thanksgiving. My girlfriend doesn't discourage me from seeing my friends though. They're all nice. Not shouting words. Just got in my face and let out a long loud ah. These are adult humans? They are clearly opossums. A big red flag is that you feel utterly miserable after spending time with them. A much bigger red flag is that you desperately want to spend time with them again. Toxic relationships are fiercely addictive. More than any substance I have ever tried. If a person makes you absolutely miserable, and you feel like you can't live without them, you're in serious trouble. Only some very good friends, and if possible a therapist, can get you out of that. If they do something that hurt you and you end up apologizing instead. Or, if you tell a person that you're uncomfortable with, say, certain types of jokes, but they keep telling you that you're just too sensitive. Basically, if they make you feel bad for their actions. My ex. If I ever was upset, rather than comforting me, she'd get double upset until I had no choice but to comfort her. Never felt really cared for. Bruh. Simpatico. 10 signs you're being manipulated. 1. They constantly make you prove yourself. 2. They communicate passively aggressively. 3. They gaslight you. 4. They are always just joking. 5. They play the victim card. 6. They kill you with kindness. 7. They make your problems feel small. 8. They emphasize their calm, cool and collective side. 9. They use emotional blackmail. 10. They take advantage of your trusting and sensitive nature. They kill you with kindness? Have you heard of love bombing? Many abusers start with love bombing. They make you feel so special and connected. But slowly they do less and less to see what the bare minimum for keeping you around is. They make you desperate for that special feeling they once gave you. And that's what starts a dangerous cycle of really high highs and very low lows. Whenever my ex saw that I was getting close to having enough of how he treated me, he'd suddenly change tactics and be incredibly loving. He'd shower me with gifts, have special dates, and do everything to show me that he had changed. Once I was suckered back in. It was back to the old abusive behavior. I'm aware I'm going through this, but I still don't want to admit it because I know he's different. It's a weird feeling to be aware it's happening and still try to deny it. Leave a like and a comment if you liked the video. Check out more Reddit related video, I am posting them daily. Subscribe to see more Reddit content.